Communication is a complex dance of words and silences. We often focus on the spoken word, the explicit message. However, what remains unsaid can hold equal, if not greater, weight. Silence, in its many forms, speaks volumes. It whispers secrets, screams frustrations, and cradles comfort. To truly understand each other, we must learn to decipher the language of silence. Silence can be unsettling. It disrupts the flow of conversation, leaving a void that begs to be filled. We are conditioned to equate silence with awkwardness, disapproval, or anger. Yet silence is not inherently negative. It is a neutral space, a canvas upon which a myriad of emotions and intentions can be painted. Learning to navigate the terrain of silence, to recognize its nuances and interpret its varied dialects, is crucial for building meaningful connections. This is especially true in the realm of relationships, where unspoken communication often holds the key to understanding our partner's deepest thoughts and feelings. Relationships thrive on communication. Open and honest dialogue forms the bedrock of trust, intimacy, and mutual understanding. It is through communication that we express our needs, navigate conflicts, and deepen our emotional bonds. However, communication extends far beyond the realm of spoken words. Nonverbal cues, such as facial expressions, body language, and tone of voice, play an equally significant role in conveying meaning. A slight furrow of the brow, a gentle touch on the arm, or a hesitant pause can speak volumes, adding layers of complexity to our verbal expressions. Active listening is paramount to effective communication. It involves truly hearing and understanding the message being conveyed, both verbally and nonverbally. Active listening requires empathy, patience, and a willingness to set aside our own biases and assumptions. When communication breaks down, misunderstandings fester, resentment builds, and conflicts escalate. Unresolved issues can erode the foundation of a relationship, leading to distance, frustration, and ultimately, disconnection. Silence, like a double-edged sword, can be wielded for both positive and negative purposes. It can be a source of peace and tranquility, a space for reflection and introspection. Conversely, it can be weaponized, used to punish, manipulate, or control. Intentional silence, when consciously employed, can be a powerful tool for self-discovery and emotional regulation. It allows us to step back from the cacophony of our thoughts and emotions, creating space for clarity and perspective. Mindful silence can foster self-awareness, enhance creativity, and deepen our connection to our inner selves. However, silence can also be a manifestation of negativity. It can signal withdrawal, resentment, or passive aggression. When used as a weapon, silence can inflict emotional pain, create distance, and stifle communication. It is in these instances that silence becomes a barrier, hindering intimacy and understanding. Section 4. The Cultural Tapestry of Silence. The interpretation of silence is intricately woven into the fabric of culture. In some cultures, silence is revered as a sign of respect, wisdom, or contemplation. In others, it is perceived as awkward, disrespectful, or even hostile. In many Eastern cultures, silence is an integral part of spiritual practices, such as meditation and mindfulness. It is seen as a pathway to inner peace, enlightenment, and a deeper understanding of oneself and the universe. In these cultures, comfortable silences are not only accepted but embraced. Conversely, in many Western cultures, silence is often met with discomfort or even anxiety. The emphasis on extroversion and constant communication can lead to a fear of silence, a need to fill every void with words. This cultural aversion to silence can make it challenging to interpret its nuances and appreciate its potential benefits. Section 5. When Words Fall Silent, a Woman's Perspective. A woman's silence is a multifaceted phenomenon influenced by a complex interplay of personal experiences, cultural norms, and relationship dynamics. To decipher its meaning requires sensitivity, empathy, and a willingness to look beyond the surface. A woman's silence might signal a need for time and space to process her thoughts and emotions. Women are often socialized to be more emotionally expressive than men, and silence can be a way of creating a safe space to sort through complex feelings before articulating them. Silence can also be a form of self-preservation, a way of protecting oneself from emotional harm or conflict. When faced with anger, criticism, or disrespect, a woman might choose silence as a temporary shield, a way to avoid further hurt or escalation. It's crucial to remember that generalizations can be misleading. Every woman is unique, and her reasons for silence are shaped by her individual experiences, personality, and the specific context of the situation. Section 6. Silence as self-preservation. For many women, silence is not simply the absence of words, but a conscious choice, a strategic retreat from a world that often feels overwhelming, demanding, or invalidating. It becomes a sanctuary, a space to regroup, recharge, and reclaim their power. In a society that often expects women to be accommodating, nurturing, and ever agreeable, silence can be a radical act of self-care. It is a way of setting boundaries, of refusing to engage in conversations or situations that feel draining or disrespectful. Silence can also be a form of resistance, a way of challenging gender norms that dictate how women should behave and express themselves. By refusing to conform to societal expectations, women who embrace silence assert their right to exist on their own terms, to define their own boundaries, and to communicate in a way that feels authentic to them. Section 7. Deciphering the silence, a call for understanding. To truly understand a woman's silence, we must approach it with empathy, curiosity, and a willingness to listen with our hearts as well as our ears. Instead of rushing to fill the silence with our own interpretations, we must create space for her to share her truth, in her own time, and in her own way. Pay attention to her nonverbal cues. Are her arms crossed, her jaw clenched, her eyes downcast? These might signal anger, frustration, or a desire to disengage. Conversely, if her body language is relaxed, her gaze steady, and her breathing calm, she might be signaling a need for space to reflect or process her thoughts. Ask open-ended questions that invite her to share her perspective without feeling pressured or judged. Phrases like, "Tell me more about what's going on for you," or "I'm here to listen when you're ready to talk," can create a safe space for her to open up. Remember that communication is a two-way street. Be willing to share your own thoughts and feelings, but do so with sensitivity and respect. Avoid interrupting, defensiveness, or trying to fix the situation. Sometimes the most loving and supportive thing you can do is simply listen with an open heart.